What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in. So I'm sure, as you guys can tell, sitting in the truck letting it warm up. Today, as you guys can probably tell by the title of the video, it is time to change the tunes from 1023 tuning. Now, let me give a little more insight onto why I am doing this. For those of you that may not know, probably about 3 weeks ago I installed new tuning from 1023. I had a video on all of it, and for the most part I was pretty darn happy with it, but there were a few things that I wasn't quite satisfied with. I mentioned them in the video that I installed. If you want, you can go back and look at that video, but it's time to change the tunes. Now you may be wondering why. After 3 weeks, why am I already changing the tunes? Am I not happy with them? What's the deal? So what's the deal? Overall, I am still very, very satisfied with the tunes. Like I said in that video, there's a couple things that I might want to tweak about it, so that's what we're doing today. In that video, I kind of showed that the tunes seem to have a little bit of a higher idle than I was expecting, a higher idle than I wanted. Now right now, let me show you guys what it's idling at right now. You guys should be able to see it's idling right around 900 RPM. You can see there, 890. And that's actually a little bit lower than what it was. So I reached out to 1023, talked to them about what I didn't like about it. So now the truck doesn't normally idle at 900 to 1000 RPMs all the time. So I reached out to 1023 and he responded back saying yes. He responded back kind of confirming what I was thinking, is that they have it built into the tuning that as the truck is cold, it idles right around 1000 RPM, and as it warms up, it slowly drops down. And that's what I've noticed, and to be honest, it's kind of cool to have that into the tuning. Kind of something they do on the back end that I haven't seen anybody else do. But it makes sense. Get the truck to warm up a little bit faster, and as it's warm, the idle drops down to a lower RPM. So that didn't really bother me. He did say that if I wanted to get rid of that, I could, but I think I'll probably keep that. So what I am changing is once the truck is actually warm and the idle drops down, it still sits around 700 to 800. Still sits around the 700 to 800 RPM, and it's just a little higher than I wanted. Some of the tunes were actually 750 to 800. Some of them were down around 600. I think it was my towing tune and my Ludacris tune both idled right around 650, which was closer to what I wanted. I'm thinking kind of what I was hoping for is right around 6 to 650. Now this may not seem like a big difference, and to be honest, it really isn't. It's just kind of personal preference. I don't really feel like having the truck idle that high, especially on the. I normally don't drive in the tow tune, and I normally don't drive in the Ludacris tune. I'm usually in one of the two performance tunes in the middle. So the truck was idling right around 7 to 750, which is higher than I want. It doesn't need to be idling that high. Burns a little more fuel, and it's just a little bit louder. So I reached out to him and went onto his website. If you are interested in changing tunes from him, you have unlimited changes for the first 30 days, and I'm sure if something's really weird, he'll work with you. He's got phenomenal customer service after that point. But to do it on his website, it's super simple. He has a form on his website, or a page on his website that you just go to. It's the tuning change revision form, I think is what it's called. You go in, put your information in, tell him what you want to change, and he'll go through. For the most part, I would say he'll go through, make the changes, email you the new file, and you put it on your truck. If it's something a little weirder, maybe he'll give you a call. But it's a super, super simple process. I literally went on in about 5 minutes, typed out what I was experiencing, what I wanted to change, and that was on a Friday afternoon, and by the next Monday at 10 a.m., or by 10 a.m., I had the new tunes in my inbox. So great customer service, awesome stuff from 1023, no complaints so far. So like I said, what we're going to be doing today is going through and making the changes. I know I kind of covered this in the last video of how easy it was, but like I said before, this is exactly why everybody recommends using the Hydra chip, because it makes doing these changes so easy, as opposed to pulling the chip all the way out than having to make the changes or pulling the chip out and having to actually send it to the tuner. All I have to do is plug in, download the tunes, and we're good to go. It's a very brief overview. I'll show you guys that, and we'll see how the new tunes do. All right, so here you guys can kind of see the truck is mostly warmed up. We're sitting at right around 88, so about 90 degrees. Truck is idling at high 700s right now. I would imagine as the truck warms up a little bit more, it'll drop down into the low 700s. But let me give you guys an example. So right now I'm in my Cummins Killer tune. Drop it down into my performance tune, and you can see that the tune, or the RPM, drops down to the low 700s. If I drop it into my tow tune, I think it'll go down a little more. Yeah, so there you go. Not much more, but it is a little bit more. If I put it on the Cummins, or the top tune, it drops down a little bit more than that. And so one thing he actually responded with was they normally do one tune change at a time, but when he looked through my files, he saw a little bit of an inconsistency, and so he went and changed all of them. I'm guessing that inconsistency was the fact that they're all kind of idling at different levels. So I'm curious to see how it does. Like I showed before, I have my port right down underneath my dash. I'll take my computer and the printer cord, plug it in right there, plug it to my computer, and download the tunes, and I'll give you a quick look at that. So let me do that and pull up the Hydra software and do it. Alright, so we're actually going to turn off the truck, plug in the cable right here. You can put this cable wherever you want. It comes supplied with a pretty good amount of length. I just put it there because it's kind of out of the way, but still easy to get to. That cable itself is actually something you have to order extra with the Hydra chip. If you're ordering the Hydra chip, buy the cable. It's well worth it. I don't think they still include it. I think it's still extra, but I'm not positive. So if it is extra, buy the cable. You'll be happy you did. So now, let's see if we can do this without dropping the computer. Alright, so here we go, got it set up. Hopefully the glare isn't too bad. We'll go back, open up the Hydra Flash software. There we go. So we got the current tunes pulled up. So I'm going to go through and actually delete these, or clear them off. Trying to work on a computer and hold a camera. It's always fun. So we got those all exited out. Now we'll go through and program it so it shows that there's no tunes on there. That's what it's doing right there. Why is it not focusing? Alright, sorry if you guys were out of focus for that whole thing. Alright, so now the chip is blank. We're going to go through, and I already have them downloaded, the new tunes downloaded onto my computer. So we've got the tune revisions. And we're going to start with the high idle on number 1 slot. And we got our heavy toe tune. I have a test of this tune from him. Yeah, it keeps going out of focus here. Let me see if I can change that for you real quick. Alright, hopefully this is a little better. Like I was saying, I do have the whole tuning or towing test with that tow tune. It turned out phenomenal. I'll link it somewhere above if you want to look at it. Towing about 12,000 pounds over the mountains and across a, 450 miles. Towed awesome. Check it out if you're interested. So we got that. We got heavy tow. We're going to go to our street shredder, which is what I normally drive in. Then we got our Cummins Killer. And then our highest tune, which is the Ludacris. And then we have the Ludacris Lope, which I don't really use at all, just kind of one of those fun tunes. Otherwise, it's not really useful. Oops, I accidentally overtuned on number 5. Put that back to the regular Ludacris. And then this one. Why don't you guys say anything? Now we got Ludacris Lope. There we go. We got all 6 tunes lined up. Let's go through, press program. It's going to take a couple minutes, maybe, but I won't make you guys watch the whole thing. I'll catch you guys back when it is. We'll get the start up and see how it changed the idle. Hopefully it should be a little bit lower. That's why I actually went through and warmed up the truck before doing all this, so we can actually see, like, since he left the cold high idle in, warmed it up, so now we can just turn on the truck and see what it idles at. So we'll let this finish downloading. I'll catch you guys when it's done. Alrighty, she's all done, all downloaded, so we'll exit out of here. Close down the computer. See if I can do this without dropping anything. Disconnect here. Unplug down here, and we'll get the first startup. See how she does. Oh, it looks good. Tell you what, I haven't seen the actual number yet, but it sounds lower and it feels lower. So we should be in the tow tune right now. It's showing in number 2. If you drop it into high idle, down to number 1. High idle, right around 1100 RPMs, which is what it's showing right there. Tow tune, good. So now let's cycle through the tunes and see how it does. We'll just focus a little bit. So now this should be our performance. Holds rock solid. We're sitting at 670, 680, which is lower than what it was before. Go up to the Cummins killer. Doesn't fluctuate at all. We're on Ludacris. Now let's try the Ludacris Lope, see how lopey she gets. I found that when the truck's all nice and warmed up, it really, you actually have to make it lope, give it a little throttle, and bounce it a little bit, and then it'll start to lope, but it doesn't like to lope. We'll try the lope, see what it does. There we go. Got a big cam Powerstroke. She's ready to go. Alright, enough of that. Yeah, looks like she's doing well. So I think, I don't want to make this video, guys, too long for you guys, but let's take it out for a quick test drive and see how she feels. Got to get the chair loaded up down there. So give me a second, we'll go out for a test drive. Alright, we've got the chair all loaded up. Sitting back there nice and pretty. It's funny, it's 113 degrees and she's still wanting to bump into high idle, but I found that it does that for quite a while. Unfortunately, as I've said, I can't really film and use my hand controls and do all that at the same time, so I'm going to set you guys up. I don't have a good setup. Try to prop you guys up so you can kind of see a good view of things, but you're not going to really be able to see the gauges of the dash. I need to get one of those GoPro head mount things. I can give you guys some POV driving, like right here. You guys can really see it. For now, just going to prop you guys up on the center console and we'll go for a quick drive. We'll let you guys enjoy the wonderful sounds of a 7.3. I'll tell you what, the combination between 1023's tuning, the stage 1 injectors, and the turbo, the truck is performing awesome. I think I found a place that has a dyno. I'm going to try to give them a call and see if we can get this truck on a dyno to see what numbers it's actually putting down for you guys. I know some of you were interested, and me myself am very interested. Also, now that the weather's finally warming up, we're actually getting to drive with the windows down a little bit. Not today. Today's been absolutely terrible weather. Freezing rain this morning. But with the weather actually starting to warm up, driving with the windows down, actually getting to really hear the sounds of the turbo. The truck sounds so awesome. We'll have to try to get some clips of that sometime. It's hard to get sound clips while driving and whatnot. It doesn't really do it justice, but the truck sounds amazing. So I'll just probably do a couple clips of some polls and whatnot, and then we'll catch you back at the garage and sign off. For those of you wondering, what I'm holding on to right here is the hand control so I can drive my truck. A few people have asked me that. Like I showed earlier, I am in a wheelchair. I don't drive with the pedals. I drive with hand control. So push in for brake, pull back for gas. Pretty simple setup. But that's how I drive. Some people have asked. Overall, seems to be driving very well. Let's bump it up a tune. So now we'll be in Cummins Killer. Let's see how she does. Overall, I didn't have any driving problems with this last set of tunes. They all drove really well. It was just a high idle issue. So I didn't really expect a difference on tuning or how it felt driving. Tell you what though, I think she pulls a little harder. I don't know if you refined the tuning at all or what. Maybe it's just in my head, placebo effect. But she just pulled really hard. That wasn't even the top tune. Let's bump it up one more level and see how she does. I'm actually curious now. I wasn't expecting to see a difference on the actual driving performance. But she boogies. Maybe it's just in my head. That's pretty darn solid. Alright. We won't horse around on her too much. But I'd say she is running great. Overall, very, very happy with 1023's tuning. Transmission, shift's great. Performance is great. Turbo sounds phenomenal. Not much to complain about, I'll tell you that. Stop by the farm, see if anybody's out working. Oh yeah, looks like he's working on the Dodge again, as usual. What's up? You making a video? You guys didn't see it, but he was over here working on the Dodge again. Probably needs some work. Alright guys, we made a little bit of a pit stop over at the farm. If you saw the last video, or maybe 2 videos ago, got the uncle there. Looks like we're working on a little bit of a wood stove in the greenhouse right now. It's kind of a greenhouse workshop, mix of everything. As you can see, got the wood pile behind us. Set for a little while. Yeah. That's where I drove to. Figured I'd stop by, see what was going on the farm, see what was getting worked on. Said he's working on the wood stove. It's actually a really old wood stove. It's kind of old and worn down. The door's fallen off. Doesn't have a dampener on it, so it looks like he's doing a little bit of work to that. I don't include a whole lot of this type of stuff in the videos. To be completely honest, I'd kind of like to incorporate a little more of the everyday life, along with all the cool truck mods and different vehicle stuff, but just more of the everyday kind of life stuff. Let me know if you guys would be interested in stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe we can work some more of it into the channel. Not all of it's all that exciting. Some of it's just everyday chores and tasks. And I'm not on the farm every day. I don't live here. It's his property. But the property's been in the family for probably close to 100 years at this point. Yeah, let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing any more of that kind of stuff. I would be interested in filming it and taking you guys along. So let me know. I'm not sure what all we're going to be doing today. Actually, I do know one thing we're going to be doing today is we're going to be, for those of you guys that have been around for a little while, you'll know that I went hunting this last year, got a deer or harvested a deer, got a bunch of the meat in the freezer. We're going to be grilling up or smoking up some jerky today. So I think I'm actually going to do a video of that. I'll film it and kind of do the whole video and go through the process. And if enough of you guys are interested, I'll post it up and let you guys see. We'll just say it's the coronavirus food storage for the quarantine that we're in. As you guys may or may not know, Oregon is in a state of basically quarantine. So that's not why I'm doing it. I just want some good deer jerky. But hey, you got some nice dry food storage that'll last a while. So, you know, always prepared. As you can see, the shop is in a little bit of disrepair. This is kind of an all-purpose shop. We got metalworking, welding over there. We got woodworking over there. We got farm equipment and everything else spread out throughout. It's not clean right now. We're trying to get it a little clean. I'm trying to convince him to expand this door all the way out to this truss. And we can actually drive trucks in here and work. We'd obviously have to move the stove, but drive trucks in here and work in a nice, dry, warm environment. You guys can't tell, but it is raining right now. And it rains for 6 months a year out here in Oregon. So that would be very, very handy to have a nice, dry workshop to work in. I think it'd be a great idea. I just got to convince him to do that. Tear out a little concrete, tear out part of the wall, make the door bigger. Yeah. I don't want to make this video too long for you guys, so I think I'll just close it out. Like I said, if you're interested in any of this stuff, more of the everyday life type of stuff, let me know. We can film some more of it. I'll film making all the deer jerky and stuff. If you guys like, I'll post it up so you guys can see. I would like to incorporate more of this type of stuff into the channel. Just another part of my life. Yeah, the tuning itself seems to be phenomenal. Bounced back to right around the right idle that I was looking for in the 600s. Sounds better. Doesn't seem like it's high idling when you're just sitting there anymore. So a little bit quieter. Just seems right. So happy with that. Performance-wise, it seems as good or better. So again, hats off to 1023. Yeah, I think with that, I'll sign off for today. Hopefully you guys have a good weekend. Stay safe. Don't be coughing on each other. Wash your hands. I'll catch you guys on the next video.